Welcome to
Day Drinking with Dave and Mark.
Hey, glad to be
I
here.
like the intro music.
Yeah. I was going for the.
It's a custom song.
I was going for the applause, but that didn't go through. So
I forget which one it is.
We had the funk. Maybe D. No.
Wrong
button.
No.
that answered itself.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
So we have Greg here, and on Day Drinking with Dave and Mark. Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah,
Hey,
thanks,
glad to
man.
be here.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
And
A rare Friday night off.
yeah.
I know, right? Me too. This is
How
weird.
did both of you get?
I have no idea.
We have a lot of banquets, a lot of buyouts this week, and
Yeah,
early
yeah.
stuff going on during the day. So we had a
Yeah.
nice banquet all day, and now we got the evening free.
Yeah, they actually because we have such big buyouts and everything. They're actually closing. They're not taking reservations for the
Exactly,
restaurant
yeah.
Just
Oh,
because
wow.
the
Just
staff
one
is
private
so.
family.
There's just so many people. The staff is just dedicated to that party because they pay a significant amount to buy the place out. So they definitely
That's-
try to put a priority on those.
Give them all our attention throughout the week.
Well, Greg, tell us a little bit about when and where you got into the industry and how it's changed since you started. Basically.
Perfect. So I most of my experience was in hotels. You know, I moved into Vail, Colorado when I was 22 years old.
Yeah.
And I got into the hospitality industry through hotels, started doing hotel management. So started in night auditing all the way up through the housekeeping director.
You were doing
So-
management. I didn't know that.
Yeah, 12 years of salaried management all through levels of rooms
Wow.
division. And
That's a big undertaking. Management in a resort situation like that that's a lot.
it is, and it's a lot. I mean, especially they expect a lot from you as a salaried employee, and you really give your heart and soul 70 hours a week.
Oh yeah.
And, you
Once
know-
they get you on that salary, that's it.
It-
Boom. You're
it's over.
60 hours a week
Life
minimum.
is over. Yeah, I had gray hair by the time I was 25. Definitely. A lot of stress, a lot of emails. But,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
now I'm in the food and beverage side of things. I like it a little more because it's not as much of the outside of work, emails and all this type of thing. I
Yeah.
just get to take care of the guests one-on-one, and something different's happening every day. So it's a lot lower stress. And I'd say harder work at the time, but
Yeah,
lower
yeah.
stress, lower responsibility.
You know what I like about that too, because I've done a little bit of management myself, not resorts, but still in the food and beverage industry, is that you take your work home with you.
Exactly.
You have to worry about this. Did this get to happen? Or you're getting an email saying this needs to get taken care of. When you work just more lighter fare like we do, or more front of house stuff, it's you go home and that's it. Work's over.
Exactly. That's 100% why I changed directions in the industry because, I didn't want to take my job home with me. I still wanted to enjoy my life, even though we do work the same amount of hours nowadays because of staffing issues and things of that nature. I don't take it home with me. I don't lose sleep over things that aren't really that important at the end of the day.
Yeah. That's important because you wear it. It exhausts you.
What's the biggest? I mean, other than we'll get into some of the COVID stuff in a little bit, but what's the biggest difference that you've seen the change in the industry, or has it just changed because you've evolved and you've been from the bottom to the top?
It's hard for me to say because I'm changed completely, like the area of the hotel and type of work I'm doing.
Yeah.
Completely from being a leader to just making sure my team is doing okay. Now I'm actually just the workhorse doing it and making sure my own quality of work is there. So that's the biggest change for me on a personal level. But right now, I think that the biggest change I've seen is the staffing issues that we're experiencing across the industry, across the country, and basically all fields. That we just don't have the people here to do the job as we need, or especially on the quality of the level that we need.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's difficult.
Well, I guess we'll just hop right into that since we are there. Now, that's interesting because a lot of the service industry and what I've heard from different government officials and stuff like that is, well, you just need to pay more. But I've heard some of the resorts pay a crazy amount of money.
It is, and I don't think it's necessarily that. At this time, I don't know if it's a lot of the stimulus and things that were offered as subsidized from the government that are keeping people away, or people just change directions completely. I think that happened quite a bit in COVID. People just kind of rethought their whole lifestyle, their whole process.
Yeah.
Hey, working from home, all these type of different advantages other companies are offering that we're not able to offer. You actually have to get down in the trenches and do the work every day, and it's gritty and sweaty, and it's not always pretty. But,
Yeah.
I love the interaction with the people and things of that nature. That's what keeps me in it. But,
Yeah.
I think that it is causing a lot of businesses to suffer and service to suffer
Oh,
because
yeah.
more people than ever right now, I think, are getting out and going out and experiencing these things.
Oh, my God,
And
yeah.
less people are there to help them. So,
Yeah.
I just really care about the quality of our craft, and I don't want that to be compromised because of the level of our artisan in the food and the cocktails and all of those things that we offer at the quality level. I think that those are going to suffer, and I don't want to see the industry regress.
Yeah.
Do you think that the industry and at least some of the places you work and get that up a little bit. Some of the places you work and even work now are equipped with teaching as many new people as need to be brought up to speed? Because that's one of the things. So I was in the Coast Guard for 11 years, and one of the huge thing that they put a burden on everybody is bringing up the new people. If you don't treat them and you don't train them correctly and understand how to actually train somebody is a huge thing. Basically, they just shut down or they regress, or you have, like I was on the helicopters, you have mishaps, and we actually had a long stint of mishaps, which some people thought was because of something that happened where they got rid of a bunch of experienced people, brought in a bunch of new people, and then had them do experienced jobs. So do you see, or is there any talk at that level of how to train these new people and bring them faster up to where they're effective?
At this point, over the last year, what we've seen that we're just a lot of times trying to hang on by the seat of our pants, so we don't have a lot of time to invest correctly in the new people. It's really put pressure on them to really step their game up as fast as possible. We're putting pressure, a lot of criticism on the new people, expecting them to be professionals right away, and it's just not there.
It's difficult.
These are people that don't
Yeah.
have experience. A lot of times what you see it as a quality resort where we're at is we only would hire people with years of experience. Now we're just having to hire anybody that will take the job.
Yeah.
And so we don't have that base knowledge coming in that you would normally expect. Out of someone in the
they don't
food
have
and
any kind of
beverage.
foundation which is already built that you can kind of build upon.
Right.
You're really laying the entire foundation, which is, it's doable, but it's also difficult. And kind of where it comes around full circle, which you see too, is that even in, not just lower level, but upper levels are having a hard time keeping people employed as well. So those are the experienced people, and you have a rotation, a constant turnover with that. And then everyone who goes through has a different management style too, so the time being put into the new trainees is not there, and so the new trainees who come in and they don't get proper training, or there's just not enough people that are experienced to do it, they get burnt out. There's too much heaped on them at once, and they go, oh my God, this isn't for me, and then end up dipping out, and it just becomes one big vicious cycle of trying to keep employment from the top to the bottom.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that where I'm at now. I've had some of the experienced guys be frustrated with some of the new guys, and so seldom are guys and people built up like we used to be, right? So in mine, where I'm with planes and stuff, and you have to have mechanical ability, people just don't come with that anymore. They have an interest, but they don't come with that, and so I literally took some of the guys aside and said, hey, look, we have to do this. We can want and be pissed off all we want,
but it gotta get done.
In the end, we have to bring this new generation up and teach them the common sense that we have. So has there been any conversation on even more at your level, where you're just you're a bartender that also does a ton of other things? Have they come to you and be like, look, it sucks, but guess what? Everyone has to step up to the train the new people and train them the right way, but not be a complete asshole so it shuts down this new generation, because this generation is, well,
I don't know that we've
sensitive.
had that conversation. We have had that in accountability and to offer the best service for our guests.
Yeah.
We've all stepped up as a team and said, hey, we're going to work together to make sure that even if we're short-staffed, we're going to still bust ass to provide the best experience. But we haven't said that about investing in the young people and bringing on the new people. We haven't made that team. There's actually a lot of criticism on the younger people. We're very hard on them, and it's kind of brings sometimes a negative environment, which is obviously not inviting to motivate them to continue to stay or invest in a career.
It's a hard balance too, because you also want somebody there's got a little bit thicker skin though too.
Right.
I've seen a couple where it's kind of chewed them up and spit them out. I've seen a couple kids go through that. They got the brunt of it, and they came through like way stronger. Like
Yeah.
there's that one kid. I'll just say Calder.
Yep.
Hey man,
No, I was just talking to
young
him today.
kid. He came on his first industry job. He just got it shoveled onto him, and
Yeah.
he actually just went to New York recently. But right before he left, kid was top notch. Man. I was
Right.
like, yeah.
Yeah, he came out
Well-
very short period of time. You know, he was a diamond in the rough, and he came back his second time to work with us, and phenomenal amount of growth in a short period of time. And I think that pressure kind of really
Yeah.
brought his game up.
Where do you see do you see where the industry could possibly be going with maybe new regulations or just in general as a culture?
You know, as a culture, I think it's going to bounce back. I think we're still feeling effects from COVID and
Yeah,
employment.
yeah.
I think next year it's still you're going to get a normal amount of staffing back.
Yeah.
And things are going to be kind of back to normal. It's kind of an art form nowadays. In the last 5 years, the cocktails, the food, the gastropub, all
yeah.
of these things has been pushed to the envelope, and I don't think that's going to suffer. I think everything has taken a pause, but I think we're just going to keep pushing forward with the industry. The talent just keeps outdoing itself from a culinary standpoint.
Yeah, well,
and,
especially at the level that we're at right now, working the kinds of resorts that we're working. People in this kinds of things, they do it for the love of it. You know, it's somebody works at a corporate place or something like that to pay some bills, get some experience, and move on. But this is the kind of place people in it because they love to do it. Even
Right.
when they look pissed off and miserable, they live for that. I know they
Yeah.
do.
I love when I go to work every day. The talent I'm surrounded by is insane. And
Yeah.
it's not necessarily, I went to an Ivy League school or anything of that nature. They've grinded it out in the industry. They've learned everything the hard way, from the hardest bussing tables to now they're some of the top mixologists. And we're at a platform or a place that allows us to be as creative as possible.
Yes.
When you're at an environment like that, that's really
Yeah.
what brings out the best in people. And I think that's why I don't see myself walking away from my current job for a long time,
Yeah.
because I love the talent I'm surrounded by every day.
How many people are you over right now?
I'm over none right now.
None.
I'm
You're
side
just-
by side with these. Actually,
Okay.
on Fridays and Saturdays, so I am a banquet captain. That's a misstep. So part-time of the week, I am a banquet captain, so we can oversee 15 to 20 employees through an event, through a wedding, or things of that nature. And then I do room service by myself the rest of the week.
Okay.
So
with the banquet, with the banquets, what seems to be the most difficult part for you, or the most frustrating
Oh
part?
man, banquets are. Whoop.
it's about the volume we're trying to do
Uh-huh.
with the team of inexperienced, because banquets is even less experienced people it's an on-call style
Yeah.
of staffing.
Yeah.
So basically it's not someone that's coming in there and you're working with them all 5 days of the week.
Yeah.
It's someone who is a veterinarian during the day or something different,
No.
or works in an office and they're trying to pick up extra hours on the weekend.
When
Oh, wow.
They don't do anything related to food and beverage, and then they'll come in and try to pick up 5-10 hours on a Friday or Saturday. And you're training them on the spot for a
Yeah.
high-level event, where some of these weddings we're doing right now are $250,000.
Oh yeah, they're huge. They're huge.
gosh.
Well, and it's because of the nature of banquets as well. It's because you can't make a set schedule if you don't. I mean, you don't know when these events are going to be, when people
Yeah,
want to do them.
exactly.
So you just kind of schedule people according to when the events come up. And it's what I've found about them. I've started doing them too, and I love them because it keeps you moving and stuff. But
Right.
It's a very hurry up and wait kind of situation. It's high pressure in the beginning, a lot of heavy lifting in the middle of the day, out in the sun, getting everything set up. And once you're set up, you're good. You just chill, wait for everything to get going. Busy moment when you serve people, but it's pretty easy. And then the breakdown at the end of the night, which is more heavy lifting.
It just sounds like one of the worst things about it is just how long of a day it is.
It can be
Because you
very
start
long.
there and then what are they usually 4 or 5 hours?
Tomorrow I have 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. is my schedule.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
got
just to start. You know,
I got 1
we
plus
p.m.
the
to-
heat.
3+ after that.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm running around trying to keep track of 15 to 20 employees, check on all these things in a
Yeah.
huge environment. The ballrooms and banquet areas are massive. You have 200 people coming in, and you've got to make sure they get fed, wined, watered at a 5-star level.
When it's at a 5-star level is what I was about to say too. It's not just getting plates to a table, but
Right.
it's doing it in an eloquent kind of way, because these people, again, expect a level of luxury being what they're paying for the events and all that. So
Do you change your voice? Well, hello.
Yes.
Well, it's a synchronized service. You all walk in
20
a
plates.
uniform line to
Really?
the table. You all hold the table until you're ready to sit down for the guests, make eye contact, nod, and boom. You actually deliver the product at the
Plates,
exact same time for 20 people at the table.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, impressive thing, but like I said, if someone's only there once a week, it's really tough to get them to that level where they can.
Right.
They want it to be like synchronized swimming, is what it
Yeah.
would be like. Very organized, very, very exact.
It's a show. It's a show
Yeah.
for the level of service that the guests are expecting.
That's interesting. So, what about the room service? What do you like about that? What difficulty is it?
I love room service because I'm my own team.
Yeah.
You know, and I get a lot of one-on-one interaction with the guests. You know, I take their order, I make sure everything's 100% accurate, and then I deliver it. It's beautiful where I work because I actually get to go outside to all the different rooms, and I get to leave the building. I'm not in the same restaurant for 12 hours a day. I got a little golf cart because we have a ranch style with cottages and different things. So I get to go outside throughout the day. That's my favorite part of it.
I see him rolling by the bar outside of my windows, just up into the mountain. I'm kind of jealous. I'm like, I wish I was out there.
Come across the moose or maybe a deer's out there.
Yeah.
And I just get to spend a few minutes with the guests in their room, you know. For better or worse. And, I've had a few awkward interactions over the years, but hey, somebody might have their towel on.
That's what I was going to ask. Clothes on and everything.
I've had guests order food and then they're showering together when I get into the room. It's like
so awkward.
It is, but I just keep it professional. I keep it moving.
Yeah.
I drop the food and just continue with the day. Guests are just trying to utilize that service as a convenience. They're paying a lot for the service, so I try to make sure that accuracy and quality is all there, just as if they were joining us in our high-end restaurant.
Right.
The idea is that you kind of want to, it's almost like you're taking care of them in their own home. You want them to be as comfortable as they possibly can. And they can do whatever they want. Because
within the parameters of the law.
Legally.
And as long as they don't
Can you
get
sign
caught.
this right here?
Yeah.
I have been. One place I worked at, I got propositioned by a young gay man when I dropped something off at their room.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm good, thank you. I'm very flattered, but sorry.
I remember propositioning you. That's what I remember.
That's what it was. Yeah, that was you. You dirty bastard. I believe that we actually did follow through on that. I am now $200 richer.
Yep.
And I have memories I can't drink away.
Now you know his price.
Yeah. $200, honey.
I think I need everyone to have their hands on top of the table.
So, in the time that you've been there, I found that has there been someone in the industry that has molded you the most and you've learned the most from? And it doesn't necessarily have to be in a positive way. I've found that a lot of my worst supervisors I learned the most from.
Many people have impacted me over the years, no matter what facet of the industry I've been in. There was a general manager back in Colorado of the hotel who taught me so much from the business side of the hotel when I was becoming an executive in housekeeping. He taught me everything about how to manage the business side of the hotel, which was more than just rolling your schedule, more than this. You're actually managing a $500,000 labor budget, $500,000 supply budget for the year because you have 80 employees, and labor is the cost of doing business for cleaning up the rooms every day. So, he taught me so much about managing the business side. His name was Jonathan Brownlee. He's the best general manager I've ever worked for.
What's the biggest take? Yeah.
The biggest takeaway was something he told me. It was inspect what you expect. And it means get out there and look at, if you have an expectation from your employee, get out there and put your eyes on it. You can sit in your office all day, but if you're not watching your employee do their job or you're not checking up on them, chances are they're not doing it to the expectation or standard that you want it to be.
People
doing.
like to cut corners,
Exactly.
And I wouldn't even call it a lazy thing. The job's exhausting.
Exactly.
Sometimes people like just to save themselves some energy and effort, try to cut a corner. But when you're trying to maintain a certain level of luxury, a certain standard,
so
you can't really cut the corner.
You got to get out and put your eyes on it. Like I said, we have a current restaurant manager right now. He's on the floor through the entire service. He's a part of it. He's bussing tables. He's doing everything. He's a phenomenal gentleman. And, he could be in his office doing his thing because that's his responsibility. But instead, he wants to make sure that every facet of the service is going.
Yeah, and he
perfect.
ends up staying later because he has to do his paperwork later on instead
Yeah.
of what he could have been doing earlier.
I think that makes all the difference, not only to have someone kind of checking up and that they're going to be like, hey, calling you out, but also to be, hey, you're saying he's busting tables and everything, to be, hey, they're working their ass off. They need help right now. They're drowning.
I got mad respect for managers that do that.
And it motivates everyone else to do a better job when you feel the support from your salaried management.
Yeah, because I remember when I worked at for a whole month and a half the Tatanka Chicken Wings.
The Tatankas.
That's
why I met him.
Yeah,
GTs.
in the bathroom. I think it was.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing just the hostess getting piled up, okay? And all the servers are getting frustrated. And this is a 15, 16-year-old that is just getting overwhelmed, has no idea what they're doing. and the manager's in the back just sitting there doing whatever. And maybe they're being productive, maybe they're not. But when it comes down to it, I think a manager's main spot is out there making sure things are running smooth.
Well,
So
putting
that
out
you have
fires.
happy guests. Yeah.
You're an operations
And-
manager. Be part of the operation.
And I was the least experienced, went back there and said, hey, they need your help up there. She came out. She wasn't the greatest manager, but came out, did, at least started going, okay, sit. She just got rid of the problem. And it was really crappy that I had to be the one that went in there and the manager wasn't constantly just checking,
hey.
on top of it. It blew my mind that that's how it was. But
And I think some of that is that I feel because they're compensated by the corporation,
Yeah.
generally they're not fairly taken care of either. We're motivated by tips, so the harder we work,
Yeah.
the better we're going to, ideally, the more
Right.
we're going to make.
Yeah.
They're not motivated by anything.
Yeah.
They have their salary. That's what it's going to be no matter what they do. They can work as little or as hard as they want. And they're not getting any type of compensation for being out there and busting ass and kicking ass.
Yeah, they don't make extra for getting out there and helping us bust tables.
And I
Yeah.
think that there should be bonuses, and I think that once companies realize that if they incentivize their management or the people, they're responsible for paying, then they're going to see the value pay off.
Well, you see the good ones stick around.
Exactly.
Is what
Yeah.
it is too. The ones that you want to steer in, because there's been too many times at the workplaces where they lose good management and get horrible people to replace them simply because they didn't take care of the good ones. I'm like,
Yeah.
And I'm like, what did you do?
Exactly.
You chased away the good manager. How could you?
And you're reteaching a new manager every 3 to 6 to 9 months,
Yeah.
and it's a vicious cycle.
Well, and your staff's confused because they keep getting different managers, different objectives, and different goals, and different management styles, and you're always having to adjust to the new person. A lot of times, I've seen people just not acknowledge a new one. They're like, it doesn't matter. They won't be here very long.
Exactly.
anyways.
You don't even put in the effort to build the relationship.
Yeah, and that sucks. It sucks for the manager. It sucks for the atmosphere where you're at.
is there a common difficulty with new people coming in at that level? Do you see like a common this is the biggest problem most consistently that's happening and for new people to learn?
I guess what I see where I'm currently at is that they weren't getting one person in new, but not 2 or 3 people that they needed. They would maybe get the department head in and not the assistant in, or the assistant in and not the department head.
And that just
so they
puts
were
so
just
much.
burning each person out.
Absolutely. It was really nice to meet you, man. Take it easy.
Thanks.
So
See you around.
even if someone came in motivated and dedicated,
Yeah.
they were burning them out, riding that one person to the bone, and then not getting their supplemental other management in at
There's
this
no
time.
help. There's just so much piled into their laps.
Yeah.
Like anyone would get overwhelmed with that.
Exactly, and they really lose that fire they had very, very quickly.
Yeah. Sucks when you see the passion burn out too, because then, how do you care about a job? You just lose the passion. for it.
Exactly.
It's just burning you out.
Let's see. You have. I'm running low on questions.
I think that's good.
I think we're good. Yeah.
I think
No,
we
I've
covered some
really
stuff.
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate you guys having me and letting me be part of it. And,
Well, we'd love to have you again too.
Yeah.
definitely. And I'd love to sit in on some other people and just see this thing grow.
We've
I
actually
really-
had Giselle on here before too. Her and a friend did it as well. She works with us now as well. Giselle's good people.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah. And like I said, we actually
she's
work with a
she's
lot
an
of talented
idiot. You hear
people,
that,
and
Giselle? You're an idiot.
I'd like to spread the word about how fun this was. A great experience for me and my first broadcast podcast.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Super stoked to have you.
Do you want anyone to actually look you up and follow you? If you do, you can say your Instagram or Facebook or
No, I'm good.
MySpace.
I'm good. I don't do a lot with social media, so
All right.
they're not going to be very amused or
Yeah,
interested.
well, I mean,
Mine's always interesting to follow. Mine's always weird.
You follow Dave, you'll have more than
Yeah.
enough what you need. You might need to sign a waiver.
Yeah.
that
If you follow Dave's Facebook, you might be entitled to compensation.
still waiting for the compensation.
It comes
Yeah.
in physical form, so don't worry, it's coming.
So you can always follow us at Day Drinking with Dave and Mark on Instagram, and we're also
YouTube?
be on the YouTubes.
Yep, the
And
tubes.
then working on the Facebook, and then an actual podcast platform. Going to be on all the major ones. So
This is getting
by the
more
time
legit.
this gets up, this should be instead of just kind of going and sitting on stuff. But we have a bunch up already. And you can also follow Dave if you want on Instagram at The Uncensored Spencer.
Uncensored Spencer.
And I'm on there at Eugene in a Bus. So this has been another Day Drinking with David Market, not during the day, but there is daylight.
There's daylight out still. It is
Yeah.
summer, so it's
So
daylight later.
it's
so
going
it
a little
counts.
Hey, slide at the end of the tunnel for me. It was a long day.
Yeah.
Hot out in the sun. Now we're here having a good time.
Yeah, get some drinks and some good food. And
Cheers to
let's
you.
get weird.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Greg, again. And
Thanks. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.